Many thanks for choosing us. Officials from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and the Ministry Forestry Commission have visited Achimota Forest Reserve this morning in the wake of public outcry regarding the supposed sale of the forest to private developers. Government has since dismissed the allegations, insisting it is only ceding a portion of the reserve to the original landowners, the Owu family. To douse the ongoing controversy, Deputy Lands Minister and CEO of the Forestry Commission visited the reserve this morning to enable media men have a full appreciation and true state of the facility. They've both been speaking to Joy News at the forest.
I am happy today. I've heard the Owu family on their own have even issued out a statement. Yes, we should understand when government takes land from a particular allodia owner or families, and over years government does not pay compensation. Yes, then you and I know that is not lawful, and because the constitution states that compensation must be prompt, adequate, and then also timely. So once that is done, once that is the case, then the whole family, after several petitions and then also going through the necessary process, were right in demanding some compensation from all previous governments. Yes, we acted on previous concerns, previous reports by several committees that had been set up by previous government, and then to ensure that even if we are giving them the land, the right thing is done. The right thing is to ensure that if, let's say we dig aside that portion that have been already returned to them, so that at least now they can have the full use and full benefit of it. But we just did not do that in isolation. But then we added the fact that they must ensure that whatever they do also will not disturb or affect the integrity of the existing adjoining forest. So what we are working through now for you to see the extent of the forest, for all Ghanaians to understand that there is no way we are going to give up this forest. Secondly, we do not intend to sell this forest as has been previously stated in the media. But then the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is ensuring that this forest is preserved, and what is left as the forest as we see now would be kept and then also intensified by reforesting it for future generations and for posterity. We'll be working, and then soon we will be entering the zoo. The zoo too have been brought here. There's no way where are we going to have the zoo? The zoo is going to be here. And there's the need for all this development to ensure that at least the ecology here is maintained. You've seen other trees over there. We have Onyina, that's a cyber tree, the one there that has also been introduced. This is also cyber. Yes, when we were kids, we used to call it in Kasenka.
We are right in the middle of the Achimota Forest. You know, we started from the headquarters. We went through where we have the nursery. We came to the areas that we developed in 2017, planting trees, and then we are, in this area was planted in 2017, where we've made deliberate effort to plant trees in the forest, so you can see them yourself what we have been doing here. We have the youth in afforestation workers working here to plant trees. Virtually the most part of the Achimota forest is made up of shrubs, and then since 2017 we have been planting trees here. You can see the way the trees are arranged in an array. It means that there was they were planted, they didn't grow themselves.
So for the one we saw there, someone was asking, does it go throughout, or it just gets where
it goes throughout to the end? And as we move along, you see the other lanes.
Meanwhile, the Owu family has expressed displeasure about the ongoing public discourse on the alleged reclassification of the Achimota forest in Accra. A statement issued by the principal elders of the family on Thursday indicated that the Owu family has suffered grave historical injustice. I'll share extracts of that statement with you. And it says the Owu family the pre-acquisition owners of all the land acquired in 1921 and 1927 for the Achimota School have suffered grave historical injustice. The family have had to, in the past, accept and or acquiesce to terms to enable it move on, which it strongly believes have been unfair and unjust. The much talked about 19th August 2016 ceremony, which has been erroneously stated in the public as an occasion when land was released to the old family, is false and misleading. That ceremony was a third-cutting ceremony for the development of the Achimota Forest into an eco-tourism park. The old family were mere invitees or guests. The old family have also always maintained that compensation has not been paid for the 1927 acquisition, and the acreage due the old family was arrived at through a long-standing negotiations which in many respects predates the current administration. This was done with the active involvement of various state technical negotiators and agencies. So those are the excerpts of the statement from the old family describing the long-standing negotiation of the Achimota land as having made the family suffer historical. So the old family has petitioned all governments in the Fourth Republican dispensation and indeed is yet to take possession of any parcel of land to date. We commit to conducting ourselves in a manner which will not compromise the ecological integrity of the adjoining forest reserve and call on the general public to please disregard any misleading contributions to the ongoing public discussions. Those are excerpts and is signed by John Kwate Ni-Owu, Francis Kwate Ni-Owu, and it's supposedly the principal elders of the old family. Let's take you now to the forest reserve where my colleague has been pitching camp. Kojo Brace was speaking with the minister earlier. Brace, what more can you tell us?
Well, Aisha, so after that interaction, we've been to the forest. They've shown us where the animals are. We've seen the tiger, we've seen the lion, we've seen monkey, we've seen horses, we've seen crocodiles. I mean, all the species that they do have in the forest, we have been there. We've just been brought to the N1 to show us the peripherals which will be affected, where they will be given back to the old family. The little they've shown us now is that if you are moving from the Achimota forest onto the N1, for example, if you are moving from the Achimota forest to head towards, say, Agbelempe, I mean, from that junction all the way through, the Forestry Commission CEO explained that it forms part of where they are releasing. So there is a Forestry Commission office just some few meters from the zoo gate. But so the space between or from the N1 to that forestry office forms part of the land they are giving. We are still with the team trying to check out where really make up of it. So like I'm telling you, what they've confirmed for us is the space between that junction, say the Achimota junction, if you head towards Agbelempe, and then it goes further to get to where their forestry office is, some few meters away from the, you can call it the zoo gate or the forestry gate. I mean, where you enter the forest itself from. So that's it. We just alighted on the N1. We are getting close to they are now showing us where the land will end, and we want to understand exactly where and where. But from what I see some development already happening at this particular end of the land. But if you just stay on a little while longer, I may be able to get one of the ministry people to help us understand whether or not this is where we are. But Aisha, like I said, from the junction, if you head towards Agbelente, that's the space they are pointing to be part of the land they are giving back to the old family. So that's basically it. We will.
Kojo Breeze there with that report. He's still at the Achimota Forest. Kojo Breeze, hold on for me. Let's get a better appreciation of the Achimota Forest. Right, so the Lembele District Security Council is set to hold another series of engagements with aggrieved youth of Anua and Telekobokazo in the western region following clashes with police in the area, which led to the death of at least one person while leaving several others injured. The youth of Anua and Telekobokazo on Friday, April 1, besieged the forecourt of the Nkrofo Magistrate Court in solidarity with an alleged arrest of 40 illegal miners on Adamu's mines concessions, resulting in gunshots, death and injury. However, in a bid to resolve the matter, the chiefs and other stakeholders from the community have been holding talks with the IGP. DCE for Elembele, Kwesi Bonzo, says although grievances of the youth bothers on job creation, violence was not an option.
We're making frantic effort to make sure that what is required to solve the problem, the permanent solution, which is finding a suitable community mining site where a lot of them will be able to work, will be done. So,
how about the issue of Galamsey? You are in charge of the community as DC. Is it the case that you're not able to act because in line with the president's vision, where he vows to clamp down?
I think it's the opposite. The opposite is that as DISEC, we fought Galamsey so much that we ourselves are becoming target of Galamseyers. It is for that reason that the Galamseyers attacked me in my office. They think that we are not giving them any peace of mind to operate in the district. But of course, the government is against Galamsey. It's a government policy that if you want to mine small scale, go to Minerals Commission and get the licenses to operate. You cannot do anything illegal. So for Galamsey, fortunately, all these chiefs are against it. So we are working together to stem the tide. But the problem we are facing is a job issue. So we think that government in its own wisdom has come out with a community mining policy. So we work very hard as leaders of that community to find, together with Adamus, to find a suitable location. Currently, a location has been identified. We are working with Adamus and Minerals Commission to get it done. So that's why we are appealing to the youth. The fact that they are unemployed doesn't give them the licenses to encroach on any other person's concessions.
But how about the chiefs? Are you going to work closely?
We are here together. We are working very closely. In fact, we've been working for the past 2 years. Except the Galamsey is a very complex issue because it's a local economy. So it's very complicated. Dealing with it requires a lot of hands on deck. That's how we have done it. We try to bring everybody on board, the chiefs, the clergy, everybody, for them to know that the effect of Galamsey on the water bodies, on the environment, affect.
Still on youth clash with the police. Police in Nkranza appealing to escapees to return and report themselves to the police for protection. So far, 5 people have been arrested in connection with the incident. We're hearing of heavy police presence at the St. Theresa's Hospital where the injured are currently receiving treatment. We'll go live and speak with my colleague Ohim Interior has been debunking that information, but Director of Public Affairs, Superintendent Alexander Obing, is appealing to escapees to come back.
Given the security situation, additional reinforcement from 4 police units in Accra, among others, are on the ground, concentrating in protecting and securing vital state facilities, including the votes at the bankside, including our hospital, and also ensure that accesses to this area are also secure, i.e. the 4 exit and entry points, in and out to Kumasi, in and out to Kintampo, in and out to Azra, and in and out to Techima have been secured 24 hours. Personnel are also deployed at various strategic police interest facilities. We would like to make an appeal in the interest of those who escaped from lawful custody. We will treat them in their own interest. Surrender, particularly those who are suspecting ourselves. Because no matter what, teams will look for. Finally, we want all of us to become whilst investigation continues to ensure that those who have perpetrated this criminality are brought to support us in this direction.
Government's red alert that the country may be at risk of terror attacks has raised fear among some residents of the capital, Accra. Traders in parts of the capital want police visibility to forestall any attacks. In the following report, my colleague Justice Beidou has been to the famous Oxford Street of Ofusu, one of the hotbeds for tourists and foreigners, to interact with some people who work there.
Abigail Latte is one of the many artisans on the Oxford Street in the Accra suburb of Ofusu. She produces handicraft which she sells mainly to tourists and foreigners.
They come here, they buy many things at all. Sometimes when they come, we used to call them, then they attend us. Anything that they want, you say give them. Maybe they need something, maybe they don't need. Somebody will come and say, oh, I'm just looking.
Ghana's immediate neighbors, Burkina Faso, La Côte d'Ivoire, and Togo have all experienced terror attacks recently, raising high concerns that Ghana too may be on the terror list. Government confirmed it in a statement by the National Security Ministry this week, asking people to up their vigilance.
You get panic. Whilst you are seeing your fellow brother, your fellow sister attack, maybe they are cutting a head, cutting a breast, cutting sort of things, you get fear.
One way I met in my feel bad because once I moved Jaiba, you betray. Now, you never tonu can quadia. No tourists, no buy.
The Oxford Street is a hotbed for tourists and foreigners in the country, home to many restaurants, hotels, and several other outdoor event centers.
There are places of worship.
Adib Sani is a security analyst who has done a lot of work on anti-terrorism in Ghana.
The threat has been there for some time now. Earlier this year, to be specific, in February, there was a UN report that indicated that there's a terrorist warehouse in Ghana, Togo, and in Benin. And we do know that there are some deficits within the Ghanaian society that makes us very susceptible to terrorism, such as the 352 unresolved chieftaincy disputes, the porous borders. We also have issues with human insecurities, particularly unemployment that is pushing a lot of young people into desperation and, of course, into uncertainty. We have issues with the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, which, according to the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center in 2014, in a baseline survey, estimates at well over 2 million.
What is going on? Everybody must be alert, so that we should be careful about how those foreigners, people attacking other countries and other areas. So we think that when they come here, we will like the government to give us more security. As here we have some small police are here. Sometimes you can see military people passing over. So even if they come here safe, we can get some small security, but we need more security to support us in this place.
I think government needs to go beyond just securing our borders. Unfortunately, where we have gotten to, we would now have to look within. Government has to improve intelligence, so homeland security is extremely key. Government would have to take practical steps to address the human insecurities, particularly youth unemployment. But most importantly, Justice, government would have to include the people in the security management process. That's why I'm particularly excited that finally government has owned up.
Back in Osu, Abigail is hard at work. People like her and the many who work here continue to be upbeat, waiting to see what happens to their otherwise peaceful Oxford streets. Justice Paidu, Joy News, Accra.
Back here in Kokomlemle in the studio, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Now, with unsafe abortion remaining one of the leading causes of maternal deaths across the Bono East region and the country at large, the Bono East Regional Health Directorate held a stakeholder meeting aimed at creating a platform for harnessing the opinions of stakeholders toward finding lasting interventions to abortion-related deaths and challenges across the region. And Asabet has more.
In Ghana, abortion is highly stigmatized despite relatively liberal laws, and unsafe abortion remain a leading cause of preventable maternal deaths, with statistics indicating that between 4.7 to 13.2% of maternal deaths attributed to unsafe abortion. Dr. Paulina Clara Apia is the Deputy Director in charge of Public Health at the Bono East Regional Health Directorate. She shared with Joy News the regional statistics in terms of unsafe abortion.
We know that abortion is one of the major causes of maternal mortality. And for our region, last year we recorded for the mothers who died, 5% of them were from unsafe abortion. And I think it tallies with national and then even international figures. Internationally, it's about 4 to 13%. So far as our region, if you are doing 5%, then it's quite high.
To help address this worrying menace, the Regional Health Directorate, with support from partners, held a stakeholder meeting in Techiman to create a platform for harnessing the opinions of stakeholders towards finding lasting interventions to abortion-related deaths and its related challenges.
What we are doing is we are engaging our various stakeholders. We are not engaging large groups together, but we are engaging group by group. So what we've done is that we have engaged our health workers ourselves. Because health workers, sometimes we can even stigmatize against each other. The person who is in the facility providing the service, others who are not providing the service may even stigmatize that person. So we've also engaged our health workers. And now we're also engaging our the institutions, as in the heads of department, RCC, then also the hairdresser association, where people are vulnerable. So that's what we are doing now.
Alontihima and acting Queen Mother of the Techiman Traditional Council, Nana Eboa Asuyama, charged parents to provide sex education to their children at tender ages to help reduce teenage pregnancies in the area.
Okay, what I have to say is that teenage pregnancy become rampant in our area. Education goes to the parents. We should educate the children from childhood, not that we shouldn't allow them to grow before we tell them don't do that. We should educate them when they are young so that they will not get into that situation. We should provide them their needs so that they won't go and take, or they won't go to a mind to provide them such things.
She, however, assured that Queen Mothers in the various traditional councils will be sensitized on the need to educate the masses on the effects of unsafe abortion.
We normally meet at the end of the month. So some are under communities, the queens. So I reinforce them to educate their children, especially ladies. They shouldn't do abortion, assuming they didn't listen to advice and something like that scam. They shouldn't allow them to go and take some concoctions which is not good for them. They should come to the hospital health center.
Dr. Paulina Apia wants people in need of safe abortion to walk to the various health facilities for the service as a means of reducing maternal deaths across the region.
What we have decided to do is to be able to institutionalize abortion such that anybody who finds herself with an unwanted pregnancy will be able to have access to the safe abortion. The abortions that happen, most of them are unsafe and they cause so many deaths. We want to make it such a way that the person can just walk in, like you are walking into to an eye clinic in the hospital or walking into a dental clinic. You can also walk into for comprehensive abortion care.
Anna Sabit, Joy News, Tichiman.
Ghana has had its share of tramadol abuse in recent times. The same can be said of cocaine, marijuana, among hard drugs. Though these drug abusers are regularly caught, the means to test them can be time-consuming and demands deployment of expensive equipment. Fortunately, the Department of Medical Diagnostics at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and the INCAS Diagnostics have come up with a test kit that can do just that. On Thursday, Lava Films Kwesi Deborah speaks with the developers.
The kit, known as 10-in-1 for drug abuse, can detect substances such as amphetamines, barbiturates, benzodiazepine, cocaine, and marijuana. The rest are morphine, opiates, tricyclic antidepressants, and tramadol. The scientists have developed a kit for alcohol too. Dr. Yao Amoriafe is head of medical diagnostics, KNUST.
And as a department, we came to realize that we have what it takes to be able to develop urine test kits that can help identify these drug abuses. We have decided that we then targeted the very common drugs that are abused and tailored our test kits to be able to identify them by a simple test strip, as is done with pregnancy tests and all that.
During testing, a urine sample is placed on the kit. A drug, if present in the urine, will react with the kit and produce a certain color. The colored line will not form in the test line region if the drug level is above its cutoff concentration. CEO of INCAS and lecturer at the department, Dr. Lord Anthony Basson, says in about 5 minutes results should be ready.
In this window, it's called a test and control window, you begin to see a rise, and as you can see from here, some of the fluids have started rising. And once, as you can see, it started rising. Once it rises, what you're going to see is, if it's 2 lines, it means that it is negative. If it is 1 line, it is positive. Except for tramadol. Tramadol, if it's 1 line, it's negative. If it's 2 lines, it's positive. But all of this is indicated in a form that accompanies it. So it's very easy to follow it and then be able to do it. So after you've done the test, after it begins to rise, you put it down for just about 5 minutes, and it should be able to give you the results. So when you look here, that is the results that it gives you. So as I earlier indicated, if it is 2 lines, it means that it is negative. So because this is water and this is not urine from somebody we suspect to have it, or we expect everything to be negative. As you can see, for the nicotine, they are both negative because it's negative because there are 2 lines. Cocaine is negative, the benzodiazepines is negative, barbiturates is negative, and then the amphetamines as well negative. When you turn the other side, it's the same thing except for tramadol, which is 1 line. Again, as I already indicated, 1 line for tramadol means that it is negative. So all of this is negative, including tramadol.
Dr. Basson, however, says the positive results indicate presence of the drug, but does not indicate level of intoxication, administration route, or concentration level. Again, negative results may not necessarily indicate drug-free urine. Reporting for Joy News.
Still to come in business, Akufo-Addo urges more integration of businesses among African countries. We're back with more in business. Stay with us.
Let's do business now with me, Beverly Broom. President Akufo-Addo says African countries must integrate more closely through competitive business, political cooperation and investment for the realization of an African beyond aid. According to him, African countries should make the most of the African continental free trade area by adding value to their resources before exporting them in order to transform their economies. The president was speaking at the Academy of African Business and Development Conference here in Accra.
With the aim to find solutions to the challenges facing development of African businesses, President Akufo-Addo called on African countries to enhance their efforts to develop in a sustainable way and take responsibility for their sustainable growth. Speaking at the Academy of African Business and Development in his second annual conference, he explained that economies can be transformed through value-added industrial economy.
I'm saying that African countries need to engage more closely, deeply, and competitively through trade, investments, political cooperation, and enhanced regional initiatives in peace and security. Together, African countries need to build our continent by building upon our strengths and holding each other up. Then, and only then, can we grow organically by wielding greater negotiating power to develop the continent of Africa. For a continent that has made the choice of pursuing integration, we have not done much as we should have in liberalizing and promoting trade amongst ourselves.
Meanwhile, Simon Sige, president of the Academy of African Business and Development, argued that Africa's intra-trade activity should be expanded to improve economies.
Definitely, I think that when you look at most of the economy in Africa today, the African economy are growing. Okay, I won't say that we will take credit, us as an academy, on what is going on in Africa, but I think that we are playing our part because most of the time we do research and we put the inside our research they are available to those who make decisions. So I believe that there should be a connection there because the work that we do is practical, is relevant, and is useful.
Academy of African Business and Development annual conferences aim at facilitating multidisciplinary research by stimulating collaborations between Africa-based researchers and professionals and their counterparts around the world by broadening and deepening global understanding of various issues relevant to Africa's business and development, as well as advancing solutions to some of her challenges.
Private insurance companies are calling for a collaboration with government to help address the shortfalls in the insurance industry. According to them, the overdependence of the public on the National Health Insurance Scheme has restrained the expansion of insurance policies, especially health insurance product. Here's more.
Engaging the media, Managing Director for Acacia Health Insurance, Dr. Dan Amu, disclosed that his outfit looks forward to insuring 60,000 lives in the short term. However, he believes this can be fully achieved with a partnership with government and continuous education of the public on private health insurance.
There's a lot that we've learned in the private health insurance space over these years. We cannot operate alone. We can work as very good partners to the NHIS. And so where the NHIS have got challenges, I think that it is very fair and open that they can engage us so that we can fill in the gaps where the NHIS is struggling with. Because at the end of the day, the healthcare is something that is on our hearts, is on our hearts as firms and companies in the private space. It's also, there's the same thing on the heart of government as well. So let's look at where we can easily partner, find ways that we can work in sync with each other so that where the NHIS is struggling, we can fill in and then offer the support that is needed.
Mr. Amu indicated that 182 million cedis was paid as claims to their clients. Addressing rumors of insurance companies' failure to pay claims, he explained that the premiums are pooled together to help all policyholders.
What we are offering is a corporate health insurance. You may be with one organization that is able to pay a premium but would use less. But there are other people in other organizations that actually uses more. So what we do is just to pool all of these funds to ensure that every member who is insured with Acacia can get his or her health needs met within the course of the year. So within 1 year, we don't have any funds that goes to waste. What you have paid that you've not used, somebody else in another insurance or in another firm has used.
That's all for business now. Do log on to myjoyonline.com/business for more stories. Up next is sports.
Let's do sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Ablai. Kumasi Asante Kotoko have written to the Ghana Football Association telling them to postpone all league matches until the matter involving Ashanti Gold and the football governing body are resolved. The Porcupine Warriors, in a statement released just a couple of minutes ago, say that this morning we have officially written to the Ghana Football Association to register our displeasure in the way and manner the match between Ashanti Gold and Asante Kotoko was postponed. As a club, we take a serious exception to the postponement of matches at this crucial stage of our league, since issues of sporting integrity may be compromised. We have consequently requested the Ghana Football Association to, as a matter of fact, postpone all league matches until the outstanding match between Ashanti Gold and Asante Kotoko is honored. The club has also demanded the Ghana Football Association to reimburse it for the cost incurred as the team traveled and spent a night in Obuasi on Wednesday in preparation for the match on Thursday. That's the statement from the Porcupine Warriors. They are league leaders with 52 points, and their game against Ashanti Gold was supposed to be played today, but due to security concerns, the Ghana Football Association decided that the game should be postponed. But still on stories that has to do with demotion of clubs, and we go to the camp of Inter Allies, where its lawyer Felix Nana Ose says the decision of the Ghana Football Association to demote the club to Division 2 is draconian, and that they have appealed to the football governing body appeals committee, telling them to reverse the move by the disciplinary committee.
It is the contention of the club that the evidence that was adduced or led during the whole proceedings or trial at the disciplinary committee was not that substantial enough to pin the club down by the charges that were leveled against us. So the base of our appeal is that we want a reversal, a complete reversal of the verdicts that was handed against us.
Now, let's get into a few details here. Now, there is an official who was deemed or who was eventually certified to have been, a de facto member of your club, considering the fact that he traveled on the team bus. Is there anything you'd want to clarify regarding that description of the gentleman as a member of the club?
Nathaniel, that is actually the gravamen of our appeal. Now, the entire decision of the disciplinary committee was hinged on this gentleman who is referred to as Emmanuel Niamua. Now, it's quite interesting and intriguing that, let me lay the facts bare. Emmanuel Niamua used to be with the club. As far back as the 2014-2015 season, Emmanuel Niamua was the logistics officer of the club. Now, after the 2014-2015 season, he was installed as a chief in one of these towns. So he resigned his position as an official of the club. Now, the season in contention is a 2020-2021 season, football season. The only link that the disciplinary committee established and dwelt on by saying that because Emmanuel Niamua was with us as far back as 2014-2015, per that fact alone, he became an official of the club. It's not substantial. It doesn't hold.
And the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harrison Addo, has called on the football community to report any suspicion of match manipulation if they come across any. He was speaking to my colleague, Lawrence Baidu.
Anybody in football, so the participants in football, have a duty to report any information that they come across on match manipulation, betting and things like that. So what you expect is that members of the football family, when they have information, would contact the association and then make this information available for further investigation. And so anybody who makes such an allegation, the association invites such a person in to assist. Indeed, in the Code of Conduct and the Code of Ethics, FIFA expects and the GFA expects that members of the football family who has the duty to cooperate with the FA, a duty to disclose any information in this light, would bring those information to the fore, because the protection of the game, the protection of the integrity of the game is paramount. If you are in football, that's your core responsibility.
This is our wrap-up sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. But we have more sports stories. When you head on to myjoyonline.com, reverse this decision to the Motors Interlice Tells Appeals Committee, and until Ashanti Gold and Kotoko play, no other match should be played. Nana Yamponsa tells the Ghana Football Association. Up next is World News.
It is 20 Thursday. Hotness is some news in the world of entertainment. And gospel musician Kofi Osupepra has shared the story behind his hit song, Big God, and how the song was recorded. Speaking in an interview, the musician noted that he's grateful for all the blessings that came with that song and also shared the interesting circumstances that led to the recording of that song. All right, and that's the story on Kofi Osupepra. We'll bring you the video of that. But he's been talking about the circumstances that led to recording of that song in the studio, which he's grateful for, all the blessing that came with it, because initially the song was not supposed to be part of his catalog. But within a few minutes in the studio, when he was requested to put something together, that song came. And of course, that song has been a blessing indeed. And that's all about it. Now, we're going to get into some more details on that. But for more news on that, please log on to myjoyonline.com and grab all the details you need on that.
Good to see you anyway.
And
I nearly asked if Kofi Osupepra
has some relation to Kofi.
I think it's something we'll find.
The man that steps a lot.
We'll find out about that. But thanks for bringing us show this. That'll be it for the bulletin 2 this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. And up next is Business Life with Daryl.